Welcome back to House Guest with me, Hailey Fennel. I'm a psychic medium, and this is the podcast that connects you to the other side. I'm so excited to give you guys this episode. It's another one from the College of Charleston Research Project, and today I get to talk with Archie. Thank you, Archie, for coming on. We get into a really fun conversation about star clusters and meditation, and I know that you guys are going to really enjoy it. If you can, remember to like, subscribe, follow. It just helps so many people find the podcast and helps me get to connect in with them without them having to book a reading with me. If you would like to book a reading, please feel free to do so. You can find me at HaileyLowFennel.com or on Instagram at HaileyLowFennel. I know that you guys are going to enjoy this one, and thank you so much, Archie, for coming on. Welcome back to House Guest with me, Hailey Fennel. I'm a psychic medium, and this is the podcast that connects you to the other side. Today, we're doing another reading for the College of Charleston Research Studies with Archie. Thank you so much for being here, Archie.
Thank you, Hailey. It's wonderful to be here with you.
I'm really excited to give you a reading. You don't know this, but this is one of the last readings that I'll be given on the podcast. There's like a few more participants after you were. In the past, people have come on the podcast to get readings, and the podcast is just evolving, changing to like more of a conversation. So I'm excited to give you a reading for the podcast. It really is just like any other reading that I would give privately, even though absolutely every single reading is quite different. But my goal is to connect in with you, connect in with anyone that you've lost that has passed away and is on the other side that has relevant information for you today, here and now. Of course, I hope those are the people that you were hoping that would come across today. I'll try to leave time at the end if I don't get to them for some reason. But the most important part of all of my readings, private or on the podcast, is that you get to hear some of the things that you just need to hear today to move forward with clarity, with intention, with confidence. They know more than we know, and so we'll get into it in a second. But you will hear me say something in the middle of connecting in that sounds something like, do you have any questions for this person? What I mean by that is questions for that person, for yourself, for truly anything and everything. If I don't bring it up, feel free to bring it up for yourself, and we'll just kind of naturally get into it. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. And let's see. I am going to see if that gets rid of that little extra noise there. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes. And if you want to close your eyes too, you can. It's just going to be for a little bit, and I'm just going to sink us in a little bit deeper. And just start taking a few really good deep breaths and just start to imagine that our souls are connecting and meeting. Imagine that there's some communication happening between the two of us without us even having to talk. And then imagine anybody you know who has passed away and is on the other side coming forward. Imagine that they see, hear, and know you. Imagine that they have information for you to move forward in life, to help you on your path. And then take a really big deep breath. And imagine that they're in a place now where they come forward with messages with love and support, no matter how long or short it's been since their passing, that they're here. And then take a really big deep breath and just imagine them coming closer and closer. You might even start to feel them in the room with you or next to you, or you might simply just be aware of them. And take a really big deep breath. And you can open your eyes when you want. I'm going to open mine too. The first person that comes forward feels just like, it's so simple, but it's just a grandmotherly feeling. Like she comes forward and she starts to enter the room. The way that she comes close to me gives me this sense of a grandmother that would have been quite close with you. And not to ever make grandparents too stereotypical, but she feels like kind and sweet and grandmotherly. And I know that that's incredibly vague to start off with, but does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She feels a lovely good. She's going to come a little bit closer. And that's kind of what they do. They come in closer and closer and closer as I start talking about them. She gets excited to be here. She gets not parental, because I can understand that that's a bit of a different, like that word doesn't quite encompass what I want to say, but she does feel like, I'm going to get the right word. There she goes. She does feel so close with you, like she wants to be a caretaker to you. Like she wants to get in there and be kind of like, this is gonna sound funny, Archie, but she wants to like treat you like a baby or treat you like just like her little kid in a way. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yeah.
Okay. It feels very tender and sweet. I am gonna say this, and I'm not hurting anyone's feelings, I promise. I wasn't that close with either of my grandmothers. I love them in these different ways for different reasons, but they weren't all that tender or sweet to me. This grandmother is like, oh, but look at me, like I get to be one of those very like what a privilege that I get to be one of those grandmothers that comes in and like wants to tend to Archie, like spoil him a little bit and treat him like the little boy that he is. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yeah.
Okay. She wants to love it. Good, good, good. She jumps all of a sudden. This is like her in life. She gets in really close. People have seen me do this on the podcast before. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll get to see what I'm doing. But this is like just this like sweet, sweet spirit that comes forward. All of a sudden she jumps to like her spiritual self. And it's just slightly different. She goes like this. She gets really stern and proud on the other side. I can understand some of that personality being a part of who she was in life. But what she does for me, Archie, she stands right behind you and she goes, Hailey, I'm also a part of Archie's spiritual team. And she gets very, very serious. Like I help guide him through life from where I am now. I help support him and make him feel good and strong and aligned and wanting to let you know that you currently right now are doing the thing that you are meant to do in life, but you got this, I don't know exactly what this means, but you were doubting yourself not that long ago, is how she puts it. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of wants, this is doubt, like in this little cube for whatever reason. It feels like an ice cube in my hand. And she like wants to kind of like toss it away and just let it melt. She's like, let's just toss that like on the hot pavement and let it melt away. Let's not let doubt get in the way of the things we want. Like if we were to always let doubt get in the way or stop us from the things we want, none of us would ever do anything. For some reason, she even says, including myself, and I'm not exactly sure what that means for her quite yet, but does that make sense for you?
Mm-hmm. It does, yeah.
Good, good, good. And she says that you were quite good at even making it like just this huge doubt into a tiny little ice cube that we just toss away. And that just might be a helpful visual feeling for anyone else that is currently feeling that way that's listening to the podcast. Okay, lovely, good, good, good. She's going to come in a little bit closer. Of course, she wants to let you know that she's okay where she is now. She loves you so much. She actually says a little bit about something passing before her time. She's like, I mean, I'm a grandmother and I get to experience those things, but I get sick before my time. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yeah.
And she's like, she feels as though her life was cut short because of the illness, and it might quite be something like with the chest around that area, but she's like, but I'm okay just wanting to let you know that. She's like, wish I had gone to like the oldest grandmotherly stage I could have, but my life was cut short, but I want to let you know that I'm okay. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay. She goes, but I'm quite a mover and a shaker again. Like now that I'm on the other side, I get to like move and be more of myself here on the other side than I was towards end of life. And she goes, and of all things, that feels really good. Okay, lovely, good. She also comes in for you and she's like, when you need more energy, because she says sometimes Archie can get a little bit tired because he puts so much work into what he's doing. Like, do you yourself put a lot of like emotion, like there's physical energy, but then there's kind of like what I do, which would be like I'm putting this other kind of mental energy into my work. And she goes, same with Archie. Like he's putting this like so much mental energy that he has to put into his work that sometimes it can get kind of tiresome. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like we
Yeah,
get
de facto, yeah.
physically tired from it. She goes, that's okay because it means you're like doing it, like you're doing the work that you need to be doing. But she goes, but come get me when you need to like physically feel better. I'll help you with that. Does that make sense? This is going to sound strange too. I know that, would you call her your girlfriend, Shelby? Is that her name?
Fiance. Yes.
Fiance. Okay, I love it. I know that your fiance Shelby was supposed to be on the call with us too, and she just references like, will you please just let Shelby know that I'm there for her too? Like she's not feeling good right now. And Archie told me this just so that everyone listening to the podcast knows. Archie told me like, oh, she couldn't come on today because she's a little under the weather. But your grandmother brings her up quite quickly and it's like, just let her know that I'm there for her. I'll help her feel better. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Okay, I love it. Good, good, good. She feels very like kind of like giddy about getting to give Shelby that information as well. Oh, lovely. Good, 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 good. Do you understand having to protect yourself from people in life? Like, it wouldn't even be, I mean, it kind of could be. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna get it from her. It could be something, and I really mean like could, like I'm not sure. Like it could be okay, like I'm asking her, are you talking about putting up boundaries between Archie and some other people in life, quite possibly in the family, quite possibly I'm talking about family members. But the more the feeling that she gives me around it is, hold on, I'm gonna get it from her. Lovely, good, good, good. Yeah, that could be a part of it, but it could also be more like you've had to like physically get stronger or practice something to like literally protect yourself from other people in life. Does that make sense to you?
In 2025, I think we all feel variations of that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. She just said it's like a good job or like a good job doing that, like a good job of putting that like protection around yourself, even if it's like, I know that we are like touching on like strength in a few different ways in this reading, but she kind of touches on it in like this like emotional way, depth sort of conversation that we're having, an energetic kind of conversation we're having. And then she also talks about it in like a physical way as something a little bit separate. Like it's not necessarily making you tired, but we're like physically getting stronger in order to protect ourselves. Okay, lovely, good, 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 fine. She just says that's good. You can leave it there. And she just says, like, I love you. Like, I'm here for you. I love you so much. Thank you for letting me take care of you. Thank you for letting me, like, be motherly mother to you and take care of you. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes.
Do you have any questions for her?
You know what? I don't.
I love it. That's perfect. I think that's great. I have a question for you. It sounds funny. She keeps bringing up the word like motherly or mother. Is she like the motherly spirit that's coming through, or do you also have mom that's on the other side?
No, my mother's here.
Okay, that's okay. That's perfect. Then I think it's her, and that's fine. I just wanted to like double check and check in. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go into that. And I might just be quiet for a little bit. Okay. Okay. Archie, do you understand a move coming up? I think I'm still with your grandmother, but she also kind of mentioned she puts like a moving box out in front of me and starts packing things up. Do you understand a move?
I do, yes.
Okay. That's her. Lovely, good, good, good. It's a little bit, people have heard me say that on the podcast before. I almost can't help it. It's them coming in for more information. It's her being like, yes, 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 let's talk about it. Okay, lovely, good. All right. She does something funny where she's like, where to? She gets kind of excited. Like there's a few different options that we have been circulating around, and she just goes like, where to? It's a little bit of a feeling as there's no wrong place to land, is how she puts it. But what would be like slightly up north for you?
Up north geographically?
I think so. I think that's how she wants me to relay it.
How far up north?
That's a good question. I don't know. This is where you are now for some reason. I don't know why. This is where you are now. And then she goes, up north. My reference is because I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, is I go to like New York, New Jersey, Boston, even maybe slightly, south. But that would be like up north for me. So if the distance between, we're going to have fun with this. If the distance between Charleston and Boston is this for me, for whatever reason on a map, what would that mean for you? That much of a distance?
That distance for me would translate into southwestern Montana.
Southwestern Montana.
Roughly.
I like that. That seems fun. I'm like, that's a fun way of thinking about it, but maybe not quite what she means by it. It could even be more what I was talking about, like New York-ish sort of area. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I know the area very well.
Okay.
I'm not
And that's
planning to
okay for
move
sure.
up there at this moment. I've lived up there before,
Oh, nice.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I may be moving just up from where I am presently into the mountains,
Okay.
about as far as I'm expecting in this moment.
That's good. I'm like, is if you're like, I just want to go a little bit up north, not that up north. I think that that's perfect. I love that you've lived in New York before, and she kind of sort of brings that up. Hold on, I'm just going to sink into it. I don't think that that's what she was necessary. I think it's lovely that you've lived there before, and that could be a part of why she brings it up, but it's not exactly why she means it. But I do like
Oh,
a little bit of.
I've I've never lived in New York.
Okay, just that
Yeah.
area-ish.
No,
Oh,
no,
sorry, I
I
said to
I'm
you.
mostly in out west
I like that.
these
Okay.
days.
I've
Yeah.
heard it differently. Okay, good. Good, good, good. All right, what she's gonna do is she's gonna have me focus back in on the move. Oh, okay. I think just keep all that information in mind. Like, I think it could be a future thing. It does not have to be a necessary thing, and it does not have to be New York. But I think like a bigger move than the one I'm imagining that you're currently talking about. Like I like that that's the one coming up. And then what she does for me is she makes like an even bigger box for a bigger move down the road. And this distance, could go this way, could go whichever way you want. Like that's always a choice. But it feels like a Charleston to, I'm going to say Boston instead of New York, but a Charleston to Boston sort of different distance. And I'm going to say this in a funny way too. And this is just for you and just in case it ever makes sense. Boston and Charleston have a very similar feeling to me, even though they're in two totally different locations. There's two different complete weather things going on, but they're both by beautiful beaches. They both have like cobblestone streets. They both have this kind of like old feel to me. Um, so giving you all of that information, if wherever you are now, then moving like a greater distance to like a similar feeling thing, but oddly different energy. Might make sense at some point in the future where bigger moving boxes are needed. And I don't mean that literally, but the bigger moving box is kind of a reference for a bigger move in general. Does that make, it might not make sense now, but does it make sense that you could think about it for the future?
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Do you have any questions around like current move, recent move that's happening?
No, honestly, I
Okay.
don't.
And then do you have any other questions for yourself, or is there anyone else if you wanted to come through that I didn't catch on to?
Not specifically. No discrete beings. Yeah, no one in specific.
Are
Um,
you okay if I just kind of close my eyes and tap more into like your soul and your guides in general then?
that I would love.
Okay,
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, good, good, good. Your grandmother's was kind of like whispering that into my ear as I was asking you, and I just wanted to make sure that there was no one that I was completely missing. Okay, good. She's gonna help me because she kind of comes in right behind me. She touches the back of my neck, which is always like, hey, like I'm also guide too. I think it's both Archie and Shelby, which feels quite lovely. Even if she didn't know Shelby in life, our people can be guides to our people. All right, lovely, good. But what I'm doing now is I'm just focusing on your guides in general. I'm asking, they can all be together and they can all work together, but it's helpful for us sometimes to get to separate them out when they get to work in these different areas for us in life. So all I'm doing is asking for a guide of yours to step forward to make themselves known to us so that we can communicate with them more clearly and they can show us what we need to know. Okay. Okay. You have this like wonderful guide coming forward, quite close. They say they've made themselves known to you before. Like I've worked with Archie, of course, since he was born, but also like he's seen me, he's called on me, he's known me before. Okay, lovely, good. And they call themselves just quite gentle. They're like, I'm quite gentle with Archie, but because he listens to us, like we get to be gentle with him. And he constantly feels like these gentle nudges um, to move forward in life, to pivot sometimes, to go this way. The minute I say the word pivot, uh, he says that there was a pivot, and it could be kind of similar to this, like something to do with this ice cube doubt thing that we were talking about earlier. But it's like, okay, so we went this way for a really long time, and right at the very end, we're feeling a pivot, and it's become quite confusing. Does that make sense to you?
Confusing in what sense?
Like we thought we were going this way and have like studied or been going this way, but now we're feeling like a slight nudge to pivot and go a little bit more this way. Does that make sense to you? And just confusing as like we thought this was the path we were going to be on, but now we're switching things up. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I changed professions. I spent a decade as an executive in pharma, which
Was
is
that a while ago though?
evil.
Evil.
Yeah, it was a little while ago.
Yeah.
Recently, not a whole lot.
That's okay. The minute you start talking about pharma, I'm like, like this is what happens in readings, and some people listen to this podcast because they're tapping in too. Um, you started mentioning it, I get this kind of feeling like, ooh, like oh, it would be so nice if that's what I was talking about, but it's just not. I'm like, that's a separate feeling. Like, ooh, I'm talking about something more recent that we've been moving towards, and it's not like, and pivots may be like a strong word for it, but if you see what I'm doing with my hands. I'm like trying, it's like a movement this way, maybe. Like it's like I'm gonna go this way. And it's okay if it doesn't make sense yet, but what I'm gonna try to do is like relay to you the exact feelings of it so that should it come up at some point, it's like I get it. Like I get what Hailey was saying with it. It's a good thing though. It's like that pharma is like a true pivot. It's like we did it, we stopped, we went another way. Like we were tired, that wore us the fuck out, and now we're doing something different. This is like, okay, so then we found what we kind of really wanted to be doing. And I know that's a funny way of saying it, but it's like a kind of. It's like we kind of found what we really wanted to be doing. Now, if we like shift it a little bit, we're going to find what we really want to be doing. They call it something, it's like narrowing it in and getting more niche with it and more specific. And all of a sudden it clicks into place and we're able to go with it. Sometimes I can get timelines a little bit wrong. So you might have already felt that way. Like I already did that. I already got super specific and I'm running with it. Or it's coming up really, really soon. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Okay, perfect. It feels really good. It feels like there's a good amount of, I don't know what that means, so I'm going to say it out loud, resourcing with it, but also writing. Like, the more we find resources for it and the more we write about it, the more it's going to even like get more specific and and the path will find us. It's kind of like calling for it a path. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay, good. Hold on, I'm gonna close my eyes real quick. They're gonna come, they as in your guide, they're gonna come in a little bit closer. Love it, good, good, good. Do you understand something around ancestral healing or an interest in like ancestors and patterns? Does that make sense?
It does, biological or otherwise.
Either way, as long as it makes sense to you, as long as it resonates with you, the way it resonates with you will be way more important than the way I could interpret it from there. Does that make sense?
100%. Yep.
Okay, good, good, good. Okay, fine, good. Fine, good, fine, good, fine, good. I will say that. They do say, they're like, but Hailey, you can give yourself permission to say. I also feel as though it has to do with work. Like there'd be like yourself personally, but it also is either related to work or it has to do with work as well. And it feels important that you could possibly tap into that for other people as well. I don't necessarily do that. Like I don't do, oh gosh, what is it called? Why am I blanking on it? It might be on purpose. I don't necessarily do ancestral healing or cord cutting or anything like that, though I do love it. Like I love going to stuff like that, and getting to experience it. I just don't do it in my practice, but there's something like that where it's like Hailey's interests could align with Archie's interests. Like she would, just go about it. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm going to get that in the right way. That'll be good. Okay, there's some resources available to you in that sort of world, like from your guidance team, from your guides, where you can do that on like a really nice, deep, very authentic level. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes.
Okay. I just asked my guides in my head, I said, are you available to meet for me for that? They just told me no, which is fine. Like it just might not be the way I'm meant to work, but there's something about it that is for you in that world. Love it. Good. I feel really good saying that. Like it just feels nice and beautiful and good. Good, good, good. Okay, hold on. There we go. Hmm. Okay. Archie, do you like to sit in meditation? Like, is that something that feels good to you?
Yeah, about an hour a day, sometimes
Oh,
more. If I'm
that's a
under the
long
stars,
time.
it can be quite a few more.
I love that. That's wonderful. There's like movement is kind of my way of meditation. Like different ways for different people, right? But that's like they kind of show me like literally sitting in meditation. Sometimes this is also like healing hands for me when they make me do that. And like palms open and light coming from the palms. It feels really lovely and good. Like, can you just let Archie know that we see him, we know him, we hear him, he hears us, sees us, he knows us. And there's this like mutual relationship that you have built with your guides that feels quite lovely. And it is for you deepened every single time you meditate. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
I love that you feel that. Do you have any questions around that or for your guides? I'm going to ask you questions, I think.
Well, I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Um, it's come to my attention over the last year that my entire life, for half the year when we can in the Northern Hemisphere, that I naturally orient toward a certain star cluster in the night sky.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
it's always there. And that star cluster was at the horizon at my time of birth. So if there's anything coming in around there, it'd be wonderful to hear.
The first thing that comes in is something around Palladian, and I don't even know if that's a star cluster, but this is does that make sense to you?
It does, yeah.
Perfect. This is kind of where my mind goes though. Like I do have an obsession with researching and looking at like star seeds or star people or aliens or whatever any of us want to call it. And so that's like the first thing that pops in my mind, which usually has something to do with the answer around that. The other thing that comes up is if you have this natural attraction to it, then it is for you. Like there is something there for you to discover. I could say the same thing with I have a natural attraction to Australia. People have heard me say that on this podcast before. There's a reason behind that. It likely has to do with the past life of mine or something coming up for me. But there's like a reason that we are the way we are. Like there are people that are gonna be listening to the podcast. They're like, "Why Australia? Like that's whatever." And I would be like, "Well, what's your place? Like, is your place Tibet? Why Tibet?" It's because our soul has like a resonance there from one of our lifetimes that is like highly aligned with where we are now. So I would love to know the star cluster that you're talking about, but no matter what it is, it's because there's like a soul thing there. I will say for me, it's Syrian. Like, I think that there's like something with that for me. And I don't know why, other than I have lost how do I say that? I have purposely lost the drive to find out why, and I'm more focused on knowing that the deep knowing in me is enough to know that the connection's there. Does that make sense?
It does, 100%.
Yeah. Will
Yeah.
you tell us, there's two things I kind of want to ask you about. Will you tell us a little bit more about the star cluster?
Well, I just always orient straight to Pleiades for half the
Okay.
year in the Northern Hemisphere. And if I'm in the Southern Hemisphere, then opposite. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
always there.
I love it. Like you just feel it. Does it feel like home? That's what mine feels like to me. That's all.
Um, I mean, I guess. I mean, it's just I'm always oriented in that direction, like
Yeah. Yeah.
unconsciously. So
Yeah. I
it's
love that. And do
interesting.
you enjoy like researching it or finding information on it, things like that?
Not so much.
Okay.
I appreciate mythology and what we call mythology
Yeah.
and places as you were mentioning places that were preternaturally drawn to attracted to. Um,
Yeah.
my place is Maui for that.
Oh, I love that. I
And the
just felt that immediately from your guides. Like,
yeah. And
that's gonna be fun.
yeah, I was last drawn out there um, at the precise week um, when Pleiades rises with the sunset over the horizon, which is the mark of a time for peace and harvest for them. But there's a whole lot more in their in their history there. Won't get
Did
into.
you plan that trip accordingly? Like knowing that, no, you just happened to be there for it.
Happen to, yeah.
That, yeah, yeah. That's pretty amazing. How
Mhm.
cool. Very, very cool. I'm gonna ask you one more question and maybe a few more. Ooh, what was it? Hold on, I gotta close my eyes. It just left my mind. Okay, we were talking about meditation. Well, it's gonna come to me. Oh yeah, I mean it's just like a simple question. So you enjoy meditation, and do you feel as though in those times, like you're able to talk to your guides? Are you calling them in, or is it just more about like emptying your space in your mind?
Sometimes,
Okay.
yeah. Sometimes there will be an intention. Um, from a day-to-day basis, not generally. It's
Yeah.
but no, I mean, of course. And when my approach to that is that when that's called for, it happens,
Mhm.
and I trust it. Um, so if I'm in a place that's soft and receptive and clear enough, then it's always welcome. And it doesn't always, it's not always exclusively through like the intention of sitting down for meditation. It can be in a dream,
Yeah.
um, and uh, and suspended liminal times like that. And it's it's in those seemingly spontaneous suspensions when encounters with uh, with intelligences like we were talking about happen. Had a near death experience when I was 17. That happened, and recently I've been having communicative experiences in dreams. It's been really fascinating.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are
teaching
you
dreams.
open to talking about your near-death experience? And you don't have to
Sure.
be.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, will you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, yeah. I was 17, and I was in a car wreck. Um,
I'm
an
sorry.
experienced driver, and there was no one around on. This was in the South, so
Yeah.
very congested, a lot of people. But there was no one around me when it happened, and I my vehicle, which was actually my grandmother's vehicle, she left to me. She passed young when I was young. Suspended, flipped 3 times, and in that moment of suspension, had a transpersonal communicative and protective experience with a discrete intelligence, um, who was who protected me in that and communicated to me that everything was going to be okay
Mhm.
and that this was not my time. And that was an expanded state of consciousness that was transcendental to time, certainly,
Yeah.
um, and to the acute nature of the physical uh,
Yeah.
environment.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our community? Places where we can find you or follow you if you want, or anything that you would like us to know?
Sure. Well, I'm taking a break from Meta, so
Yeah.
social media is I'm not on social media right now. I'm available on LinkedIn. I'm a PhD candidate researching aspects of consciousness.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
so you can find me there. But
Yeah.
other than that, that's that's the bulk of what I'm doing right now.
Okay, cool. So we can find you Archie Frink on LinkedIn. Perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for telling us about everything and about meditation and the star cluster that you feel aligned with. I love hearing about stuff like that. And I think it's going to open a lot more people to kind of get curious about it. And it's really fun to dive into. And just a reminder for anyone that's listening, that is like, what in the world are Hailey and Archie talking about? A lot of people are going to know, but some people aren't. feel free to reach out to either of us. We'll help guide you where to just find some fun information, but just have fun with it. And you might find yourself resonating with one over the other. And then all you have to do is trust it. That's it.
Totally. Just go within.
Yeah,
There are no books. Just go within.
exactly. Oh, I really like that. Thank you, Archie. Thank you for your
Thank you.
time and your energy. I appreciate it.
Likewise. Likewise. Nice talking to you.
You too. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I love you guys so much. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow just so that more people can find the podcast. If you guys have questions that you would like to be answered on the podcast, or a story, a ghost story, a spiritual story, anything like that, please feel free to email me. You can be anonymous or you can add your name and your business. We're more than happy to shout you out. That's houseguest@haileyfennel.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at HaileyLowFennel. Thank you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Love you all.